The hair issue, the hair is difficult here. It's difficult to have a particular hairstyle. I remember when I came here, my hair was, I had dreadlocks, and it is high maintenance. I was struggling to maintain my hair. I could not lock my own hair, I could not style my own hair, so I had to rely on a salon. And the salons here do not cater for my fancy African hairstyle. So having dreadlocks was difficult to maintain. I was going to salons, even to wash my hair at a salon was a problem because they had no idea what to do and maybe what to expect dealing with dreadlocks. So I used to wash my own hair, and I would just let it dry on its own, and that's it. I could not lock it, I could not style it, I could not do anything. You get to a salon, they just chuck you away and say, no, we cannot help you, we are sorry. And eventually I found a salon in some province, in Sichuan province, at a place called Chengdu. And the guy was expensive. I lost a fortune on that day. But I did not have a choice because he was the only one that could do hair. He was the only one that could do dreadlocks. But he was using, he crotched my hair on the day. Not so perfect, but it was worth it. Worth the crotch, just not with the fortunes that I have lost. And yeah, that's when I set myself one day and said, nah, I don't think this is how I want to do things or where I need to head with this hair issue. And I ended up cutting my hair. So right now I just shave from here till here, all sorted. But it can be a very challenging thing because we need specifics, we need a particular hairstyle, we need all those kinds of stuff which they do not have or which they cannot actually do with our hairstyles. So it was very difficult to have dreadlocks here, and I think it's still difficult to those that cannot style their own hair or lock their own hair. It becomes a headache to get products as well, hair products that suits the African hair. It's a headache, and I was too young to have such a headache every day of my life. So eventually I cut my hair, and I'm happy with the decision.
Maintaining our hair in China or doing all these hairstyles and the haircuts. For those that know me, they know that I'm a person of haircuts, the brush cuts, and the fades. But when I got here, it became a struggle. It became so hard for me to maintain my hairstyles. So most of the time, I had to go bald like I am right now. But now I've actually learned how to do my own hair. I do all types of hairstyles in my head, but I went bald just yesterday because I was um, I was actually tired of the hair, and I needed to start clean again. But it's a struggle because the first time we went to a barber here in China, we actually went with my roommate, and he was swearing all the way. Yeah, lo mjita lo umosha inwele zami. And I had to try and fix him. Although I didn't do it well, but I did better, because you cannot blame them really, because they've never, like here where I am, the province where I am, or maybe let me say the county where I am, they had never done African hair before. It was actually the first time they did African hair with my roommate, and they messed him up, man. They messed him up, and that's when I decided, good, nah, I ain't never doing my hair here. And after that, I was like, Joe, dude, like I was bushy. For those that watch my Instagram stories, I was bushy, as you all saw. And then this one time I decided to go bald, yabo. So I went to a salon somewhere here, but they still couldn't do it cleanly. It wasn't clean. It wasn't clear. So I decided to buy myself a machine, and then I started doing my own hair by myself. Even the beard, I trim my own beard. I trim my own hair. I do everything on my own now. I'll show you guys a video on this as I combine these things. But it is really a struggle for Africans to get proper haircuts, or maybe for the ladies to get proper hairstyles in China from the Chinese ladies, unless there's someone that's actually been doing it for a long time. But it is going to cost you a lot. These people will rip you off. They will rip you off because you'll have no other choice but to get your hair done by them, because they're the only ones that know how to do it. All right? Yeah.
It is quite interesting how normal things in your own country can just become a big struggle. I in my life I never thought I would struggle with making a hairstyle, with just washing my hair, locking it, and styling it. Those are like simple things to do in South Africa. Those are like, come on, who cannot do this for you? Which salon cannot cater that for you? And so such normal things became such a struggle when when I came here. And eventually that's how I came to my decision to say I'm not going to go through this every day or every month about this hair struggle. And yeah, eventually I had to cut my hair. However, yeah, it just shows the difference between the two countries, how things are being set up and how people live out here or how people live back at home. So yeah, there are many things. Of course, I still struggle with the language in terms of purchasing stuff, in terms of traveling around, or in terms of just making friendships. It's a massive language barrier which I still struggle with to crack it. It becomes a bit easy if you are into sports or if you are into nightlife. You meet new people, you meet whatever. At least you get to be taught one or two things. But it can be a struggle to just live a normal life with speaking English or speaking my home language, Setswana. And yeah, it is unfortunate that how life is set up. Normal things become a big struggle, and normal things which for us or for me are supposed to be very simple, it becomes a struggle. To buy water, I always have to use a translator, speak with the person to buy water. Those are just things that you just go into a supermarket and buy water, come back home. But here it can be quite tricky. So from here to daily life routines, it can be a struggle here, which are supposed to be simple things when you stay abroad, but unfortunately not. Yeah, there is quite lots of stuff that we struggle with, but we win them and life continues.
um Normal things becoming a struggle here in China. Yeah, just like Siho said, I'm also gonna touch on the thingy, on the language barrier thing, and because like wherever you go, whether you go to a bus station, whether you go to a train station, to a supermarket, to a restaurant, wherever you go, you are going to need a translator. You're going to need, let me say, Google Translate. Yeah, well, there are many translating softwares, but me now I use Google Translate because it makes things simpler for me. I can have a conversation, I can take a picture of something written in Chinese, and then it translates it, and yeah, you can do a lot of things with Google Translate. But wherever you go, you always have to have Google Translate ready, because otherwise if you to you'll find yourself whoever doing whatever you don't even know or you didn't even plan. And even if you find you get someone that speaks a bit of English that understands you, they don't, it just happens that they don't really understand, so you gotta speak really slowly for them to understand you and to get you, and for them to respond is a bit of a struggle because yeah, it's just the way it is, man. And another thing is that, oh, one time I went to a supermarket to buy shower gel. So when I got there, I was looking for shower gel. Timbutong, I could not read anything, and I wasn't familiar with Google Translate translating things. So I ended up buying what did I buy? I bought shampoo, hair shampoo, Chinese hair shampoo for my African hair. It didn't have an impact, but I just had to use it until it finishes because it was 72 bucks, dude. That was a lot of money. If you convert it to rand, it's like a hundred and fifty something, I think. Yeah. So yeah, that's the struggle. And also getting food, you always have to ask what it is that you're eating. You don't just eat meat because it's meat, dude. You gotta ask. You'll end up eating frogs and dog meat and all these type of things. Not to say that they eat weird stuff. Well, they do, but it's not really weird. You just gotta ask and find out what you're eating.
Speaking of food, it's of course the food is good for me. I like it. However, some people prefer to cook, but when you cook, you need your spices, you need your salt, whatever you are used to using. And here at home, we used to know soup, we used to raja, and all those kinds of Robertson, yeah, those brands, Robertson, no, and raja. Those are nice spices that we normally use to prepare our food and all that, especially if you're into your home cooked meal. But here, it's a different topic. We don't have access to that. It's expensive to import. So therefore, every time when you go home, you have to pack all your favorite stuff, from snacks to hair products to toiletry, and of course your cooking things, your spices or whatever you use to prepare your food with. That's how those are simple, those are supposed to be simple things wherever you go, that you can just be like, yeah, I'm cooking, I'm preparing this, and I'm going to buy a particular spice or a particular salt. It's a struggle here. It's not the same, it doesn't taste the same. You buy something that looks like spice, next thing it's sweet, or you buy it, it's too hot for you. Yeah, those are simple things that are becoming struggles. And for that reason, that is why I stick to my vegetables, I stick to my fruits. I don't cook that much. I boil pasta and I buy tin fish or whatsoever, and I'm cool. So yeah, we get to struggle a lot with a home flavor stuff, which we cannot find here. Yeah, that can be a headache on its own, especially if you are not willing to go out there, explore the local food and have your food taste and be a foodie around and just enjoy the local experience. So that's it about food.
in terms of food and meals, Seho has also mentioned this. Ama spice work, your spices and sauces. Sauces. Okay, I cook by myself. Or well, I try to cook, but I'm more of a outside eater. I eat outside because cooking here is quite a struggle for me. I'm not familiar with their stoves. Namanje, I'm not used to using the stoves. They like my food always end up being banned. So I prefer to eat out. And when I first got here, I did not know where the proper places were for food. So I ate quite a lot of stuff. um One time we went out for football and we went to a restaurant. So I didn't ask what we were eating. Guess what I ate? Horse meat. Yeah, I did. I didn't know. I just saw meat. So my advice to you is that when you get here, don't just eat whatever meat you see on the plate. You gotta ask what it is and make a decision then. Cause they just like Chinese people tend to force you to eat. So if you don't stand your ground, you're gonna end up eating things that you never thought you'd eat. Um, so you always have to ask, and otherwise you'll end up eating weird stuff. Not to say that they eat weird stuff. They do eat proper meals. They do have proper meals, but they also eat dog. They eat horse meat. They eat okay, I've never seen one eat frogs, but I see this in videos. They eat a lot of things, and you just gotta stand your ground and say no, no. So, but I do prepare my own meals. I go to the supermarket. I buy my own meat. I buy my own stuff and spices. I'm a spice like the spices have weird smells. You can never get used to them. So being a man, you know this thing. I didn't come with spices. I bought Robertson and everything. I didn't come with my spices. So I always have to struggle with their spices to get you like I can never get used to them. But at school, like at my school, they provide us with meals. We have meal cards, and we eat from the dining hall. They have quite proper food. They have Western food in the dining hall. So most of the time, I don't get to cook on my own. I get to eat from school, except during the weekends. That's when I have to probably cook or eat out. Yeah, like in terms of food, it's quite simple. It's easy. You just have to ask. Please, just ask. You must ask.
Language barrier on the football field. It can be very frustrating to play when all your teammates are Chinese and you cannot, of course, communicate in Chinese. Of course, when you play in a club, you have the coach and he speaks different language from yours. They play in a different style or their particular way. You will find yourself making loads of mistakes because you cannot really communicate. You do not know what does the person want from you. Do they want the ball or not? Must I hold the ball? Is the man coming on? When is passing the ball into space? Is it, even if it's at the right time, but probably that person was saying no, please hold the ball, I'm coming. It can be a mess. You will look like a fool for your first few games here, but as time goes by and you start to learn the basics, what is man on, what is kick, what is shoot, what is pass, what is hold the ball, what is throw in quickly or turn around or look forward or make a run or space up. Once you get the hang of it, it becomes more simple and you start to enjoy the game more often, and you gel in as well within the club and all those things. But yeah, it can be very difficult to play because you start to feel you are in a club, but you are isolated on the football field, because they understand each other and they play in a particular way, and then you are just there. It's like you're a lonely person on the field. You do not belong there. It's like there you're forcing yourself to be on the pitch. But once you get the hang of things, like me right now, I can play anytime and I can play with anyone, even if it's strangers locally or whoever. It's brilliant to play out here. And of course, this football is not one of their strong points or one of their strong spots here, but they really try, and those that can play or those that participate in football, they are really good and they take good care of you. So yeah, that's it about football.
Oh, language barrier on the pitch. Bafetu, Chinese is the most difficult language, and it is quite a struggle to be on the pitch with people that you don't understand and they don't understand you. Um, it's quite difficult because football is mostly you need to communicate, but not necessarily. But communication in football is very, very, very important. And for me, I'm not a talky footballer. I don't talk much on the pitch unless I'm really frustrated, and I don't talk a lot. And for me, it's not been really a struggle because it's the kind of football I'm used to. Like, the only struggle is that I'd have to call for the ball, or I'd have to go fetch the ball, because I'd have to run around the pitch to go fetch the ball myself and distribute it to the position where I want it to be. Or I get to probably, okay, just raise my hand, probably just raise my hand to show that I am in the position and I'm free to receive the ball. But they don't see me. I'd need to shout for them to hear me, but I'm not that kind of player. But I've had to learn how to shout in order for me to get the ball. Otherwise, I'll just run around getting to fetch the ball and everything. But it's quite simple because football itself is a language. Football itself is a language. For me, it's a language because you just know that when someone says this, whether it's in Zulu or Xhosa or Tswana or Chinese, you like it just translates itself. Go to now, this person probably means pass the ball, or there's a man behind you. So that's football is a language for me, and you just gotta learn to understand. Especially with the Chinese, you just have to learn to understand them, man. They don't understand you, you don't understand them. Well, you will get frustrated. I get frustrated. I get impatient. Wow, my patience runs out. And my patience runs out, and I get to be really fed up and just decide to tire myself up and run for the ball wherever it is, fetch it, distribute it to the position where I want it to be. And yeah, it's just like that. But it's football. You don't expect people to do things the way that you do them, because those things only exist in your head. You just have to understand that people play their own football, especially in a foreign land. They play their own football. This is not South Africa, so I had to understand that. In South Africa, I played with players that had vision. They saw me. They had like they were quality. I'm not saying Chinese people are not quality players, but they had quality. They had that. I didn't have to shout for the ball because then like the opponent was also as good. So if you shout, then there's a man on you immediately. Yeah, bro. So I didn't have to shout for the ball, but here I have to shout for the ball because it's really a struggle. And yeah, that's more like it. I hope the question is answered.
More about football. They are very tactical if you play here, and they are also, as a player, you need, fitness wise, it's being demanded, you need to be on 100 all the time, because you can have loads of games, or you can have loads of training sessions where you have to be on your top game all the time, or top performance. Someone asked me if I ever swear on the field in a different language that they do not understand. Of course, frustrations come in and all that. Eventually, if you're used to, if like most of the time, of course, I speak English here, and I do swear, but not directly to a player or not directly to the referee, just on my own, especially if I swear in English, because there are some swear words that they do know. Maybe when I'm way too frustrated, that's when I will swear in Setswana, and I will be open and bluntly with it, because I can get away with it. No one will even, they will maybe probably think that I'm giving a compliment, which is never the case if I'm frustrated or if something got to me. Yeah, we can get away with a lot of stuff. Well, both in English and in any other South African language, because they do not really understand it. But I advise you not to do it. It's not good sportsmanship. And I try to stay a lot far away from it. Only now and then do I do it, but I do it on my own. I do not say directly to players or to opponents or anyone on the field. It's just not right. Yeah, so those are things we can now and then come across with and get away with. What else? What else about football?
Language on the pitch. For me, like I said, I'm not really a talky person on the pitch. When I get frustrated, I get really, really, really quiet, because then I don't want to hear anything from anyone. I'm mad. I get really, really impatient. So therefore, I express my impatience and frustrations by being quiet. And I don't care whatever anyone says. I just become quiet, man. I don't, cause otherwise, no, I hate talking on the pitch. I hate I hate being loud. It also frustrates others. So okay, I don't swear. I don't swear on the pitch. Okay, maybe silently inside me I'll be like, damn, shit, that's bad, man. Please don't do that. Well, I do that inside because I don't want the other player to hear me, because then they'll get frustrated as well, and I'll ruin their entire game. Because I hate being shouted at. Myself, I hate being shouted at. I make mistakes, and I cannot expect others not to make mistakes. And I hate being sworn at, so I don't swear at other players. I let them be, even if I'm frustrated, I let them be. And yeah, maybe the only thing I say is cause with me here in China, I get to be marked by at least two people the entire game, and I have to run around to tear them up. So with the Chinese, the way they play is that they know that, okay, Sebi is good with the ball, so we just gotta pass the ball to him, and it gets me tired, but it gets my markers more tired, because I feel like they're just a bit weaker, yeah, well, and they get tired easily, quicker, and so mostly I get point at whom the ball should be distributed to. I just keep on pointing. I keep on pointing. When I want the ball by myself, then I call it. I call it. I just say pass it. No matter who's behind me, yeah, that's what I do. Otherwise, that's my only communication. Mostly using my hands. Hands distributed there, the other corner. No, 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 no! Don't kick it! Don't kick it! Or like just using my hand. No, 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 don't. Because sometimes for someone to understand, you have to have that expression in your face. Good, you know, you mean no, or you mean yes, yes, yes. No, 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 no. That's easy. All right, it's easy stuff.
The the football support, ah, mm, not the vibe that I would like, not the vibe that I prefer, and no am I like, I can't say I'm happy with the football support vibe that's normally there. It's not a good vibe. It's They are not really that interested in football, and those that go, it's like a learning curve for them. It's like they're going there to learn something. They sit there quietly, watch the game. If it's a goal, clap hands, and that's it. No matter how skillful you are, no matter what fancy things you do, or what good pass you make, or what good goal you score, you will only get a round of applause. And it's like they're watching tennis, where it's quiet, everyone is concentrating, watching the two players battle each other out. If there's a point, it's hands, and that's it. I think, not I think, I've experienced that quite a lot here. No matter how good you are, of course they will tell you that you played a good game, you are good, come again, or we'll see you in the next game. But it's not like at home, where if I make a good pass, I know the crowd will be very happy about it. If I score, I know that the crowd will keep going. The spirit the spirit is different. At home, we are excited from minute zero to 120, or to 120 plus, or to 90 plus. We show a lot of passion when it comes to support. But here it's, yeah, Sejo is good. That was a good pass. And then Don, that's it. Uh, that was a good goal. Wow, done. It's like business. It's like when you're a business meeting. You do your job, great, cheers, see you next week. So the vibe is totally different. And some of us, we get very naughty when the team is winning, and we have few minutes left. We want to express ourselves. We want to play for the crowd and say thank you that you're here. We want to do all fancy stuff. But here you can do them. I do them, but yeah, it's just yay, and then done. So the vibe is different when you play football here. It's too serious.
Ha! The vibe from supporters? Where? Okay. There is no vibe from supporters, at least from all the games that I've played, from what I've observed. Um, you get people that come to see the game, but for me, I felt like they only came to see the game because they heard that a foreigner was coming to play, because they love foreigners, they love us. When they see you, they're happy, they want to take pictures. And but in terms of them being spectators, they don't most of them don't understand the game. They don't understand the game, so there is no vibe at all. The only thing most people understand is when you score a goal, like so said. But akuna vibe. You can give an outstanding performance. No one will applaud you for what? They don't understand that thing, dude. So yeah, Agna vibe. It's not like back home where you get fans shouting your name from the stands, or just making a lot of noise because you're doing things on the pitch, you are impressive, and all that. Like here, like mostly the only people that understand the game are the people you are on the pitch with. That's it. That's what you get. Those are the only people that will applaud you when you do something good, when you give a shibobo. Those are the only people that understand this thing. Yabo. When you score a beautiful goal, they understand it. They'll be like, "How Joe?" That means very good, very good. When you give an outstanding pass, "How Joe?" Very good. They applaud you. Even the opponents applaud you, and yeah, there's no proper support vibe. No, zero, zero, completely zero. It's a zero, complete zero. And what else? Well, they do come, but they're not interested in the game, man. Maybe some of them do watch, but most of them are usually on their phones or doing something else or just walking around. It's fine. It's life here in China. Yeah, that was it from my part. And yeah, until we meet again.